5.25 million unencrypted passport numbers. That is what Marriott later said sat inside a guest reservation database it inherited. Names, stay dates, loyalty, travel documents. The company disclosed the incident on November 30th, 2018. The implant had been living in Starwood's network since 2014. How do you become the world's largest hotel company and miss a 4-year guest? Tonight's corporate breach case is Marriott and Starwood. Not a ransom note on a hotel television, an acquisition, a reservation system left running, and a database that held more than rooms. Figures from public filings and reporting. September 8, 2018. Marriott's IT team gets a call. Accenture, the contractor running the Starwood guest reservation base, has seen an alert. The day before, someone ran a count on a guest master table. A database tripwire fired. That call is the first time Marriott says it heard this alarm, after it already owned Starwood. Starwood was not one hotel. It was a portfolio. Sheraton, Westin, W, Street Regis, Aloft, Le Méridien, 4 Points, the Luxury Collection, Tribute, Element, Design Hotels, timeshare brands too. If you booked those properties on or before September 10th, 2018, your reservation record lived in that inherited stack. A reservation database looks boring. Arrival, departure, room type, communication preferences. Under that paperwork sits identity, mailing address, phone, email, date of birth, gender. Starwood preferred guest account data, and for millions of travelers, a passport number. Hotels need that to check you in. Attackers need it to map a life. Think of the cardholder tables as a vault with a motion sensor. The guest master cabinets sat in the same building, without that same tripwire. Britain's later penalty notice said the count hit guest master profile. IBM Guardium was watching tables that held card details. The other tables did not. So years of dump files could be written, and no hotel alarm had to ring. Marriott's own statement was blunt. The investigation found unauthorized access to the Starwood network since 2014. In 2018, they found an unauthorized party had copied information, encrypted it, and taken steps toward removing it. On November 19th, they decrypted those files. The contents were the Starwood guest reservation database. Here's the first turn. The alert was not the beginning. It was the first time the motion sensor caught someone counting the vault. The guest had already been inside for years. So how did they get a key in 2014? The UK regulator reconstructed the first implant. July 29, 2014. A web shell on a Starwood device that supported Accolade. Plain English, Accolade was an internal tool. Employees used it to request changes to website content, not a reservation terminal. A content request box. That box became a remote door. From that door, the attacker installed remote access malware, administrator control. Then a password stealer called Mimikatz pulled logins out of memory. Some accounts used one factor. Some used more. Those credentials ran commands on the reservation database. Dump files appeared with names like reservation room sharer, website tool, admin malware, stolen logins, table exports. The penalty notice lists dates: April 15, 2015, April 21, May 17, 2016. Files that could have been built to lift whole tables at once. The regulator does not swear each file left the building. It says they could have been created for that purpose. We keep that uncertainty. The trail is still ugly. There was already a warning flare. A separate Starwood point-of-sale breach began in June 2014. More than 40,000 payment cards. About 14 months dark. Starwood told customers in November 2015. 4 days after Marriott announced it would buy the company. November 16, 2015, Marriott announces a $12.2 billion deal for Starwood. September 23, 2016, it closes. Starwood becomes a wholly owned subsidiary. Marriott, based in Bethesda, Maryland, becomes the world's largest hotel company. About 1.1 million rooms. 1 in 15 rooms on Earth. The web shell was already 2 years old. Second turn. They did not only buy brands. They bought a running network. And the implant came with the keys. After closing, the story does not get cleaner. Around New Year 2017, memory-scraping malware lands on Starwood devices. It hunts payment card data. On January 10th, it runs on 8 property management systems. It fails. Those properties were not in the European Union. Marriott told the regulator it believes, but cannot be certain, this was a different attacker. 2 shadows. 1 inherited house. After the September alert, Marriott opens its incident plan. Monitoring spreads across about 70,000 legacy Starwood devices. Investigators find Accenture employee credentials used since July 7th. They block remote access command servers on September 17th. They call the FBI on October 29th. In November, they recover 2 compressed, encrypted, previously deleted files. Guest master, PP master. November 30th, 2018. Marriott issues a press release and furnishes an 8K. Up to approximately 500 million guests, the company said that day. About 327 million with the richer mix, including passport numbers. Chief Executive Arne Sorensen said they fell short of what guests deserve. Emails start going out. 1 year of WebWatcher. January 4th, 2019, they revised the headline. About 383 million records as an upper limit. Not 383 million unique people. Duplicates. Multiple stays. The company said it could not quantify the unique lower number. Later, Britain's regulator would use 339 million guest records. 30.1 million in the EA, 7 million tied to the UK. This is the part that follows you home. You stayed at a Sheraton years ago. You handed over a passport because the desk asked. You never opened a Marriott account. Then a letter arrives from a company you did not choose. 5.25 million passport numbers were unencrypted. Another 20.3 million were encrypted. Marriott said it found no evidence the master key was taken. Encrypted is not the same as never useful. Cards were a smaller slice. About 8.6 million encrypted payment cards. About 354,000 still unexpired as of September 2018. Marriott said it found no evidence the decrypt pieces were taken. A few thousand-digit strings in other fields might have been cards in the wrong box. Years later, the company corrected itself. Some of that protection was SHA-1, not the AES-128 it first described. Third turn. The scare number was 500 million. The human number is smaller and worse. Millions of passports sitting in an inherited file, in the clear. Then the fines arrive, and they shrink on the way down. July 2019, Britain's Information Commissioner's Office says it intends to fine £99.2 million. October 30th, 2020, the final penalty is £18.4 million. GDPR from May 2018 only. COVID-era mitigation. Reuters reported it the same day. October 2024, 49 states and DC announce $52 million. The FTC orders a security program. It said it lacked authority for its own civil penalty here. Do not mash the files. The FTC described 3 incidents. The 2014 point of sale, the Starwood reservation dump, and a third hit on Marriott's own network, dark from September 2018 into February 2020. 5.2 million guest records. 1.8 million Americans. Names, addresses, loyalty. Not the same dump. Same company. Same lesson. The inherited house was not the last door. Who did it? The ICO called the attacker unknown. The initial vector unknown. In December 2018, the New York Times and the AP cited unnamed U.S. officials. They suspected China's Ministry of State Security. Beijing denied knowledge. There is no Marriott indictment in that file. Officials talk. The paperwork does not name a nation. If you buy a company, you buy its network. Demand the logs. Hunt privileged accounts. Put the same alarm on guest tables that you put on cards. Retire the seller's reservation stack on a clock, not a hope. If you stayed at those brands, treat a passport number as burned for monitoring, not as a rumor. Watch for loyalty and booking phishing that cites a real stay. Which corporate failure should we open the file on next? Full links in the description. We cite counts. We don't invent them. This is corporate breach.